live. It's the Craig Bohl Football Show. KX4 and Gate City Bank present the Craig Bohl Football Show.
Good morning, everyone. Breaking news for you this morning. The Bison have a new football coach. Athletic Director Gene Taylor has named defensive coordinator Chris Kleiman the 30th head coach of the Bison. A press conference will happen right after this show, and we will be carried live statewide on CBS Fargo and NBC stations in North Dakota. Kleiman has been the defensive coordinator for 2 seasons, and this is his 3rd year on the staff. Craig Bohl will still coach the team. Kleiman will continue to wear his defensive coordinator hat for the semifinals this week. And we're joined on the set by the head coach, Craig Bohl. And Coach, talk about Chris Kleiman. When you brought him to Fargo, he's a good guy. He's been great for the staff. He's been a great defensive coordinator for you.
You know, he's really done a nice job. He came in, and Scotty Hazelton was a defensive coordinator. Those two teamed up, and we were #1 in the country in scoring defense. And then the last 2 years, we've been #1 in scoring defense as well. Chris is a very learned football coach. He's been at 4 other Valley schools, and certainly happy for Chris and Rhonda.
How much did his knowledge of the Valley help you the last 2 or 3 years? He knows this league very well. He played at UNI, coached there as well.
Well, I think anytime you have somebody that's got that kind of experience in a competitive league like the Valley, it certainly makes a big difference. And so, you know what, it's been a great ride, and want to wish Chris and Rhonda the best as they move forward.
Now, the team right now was very focused this weekend, played very well, was very passionate out there, and that'll be the same case this week, I'm guessing, in the semifinals.
Well,
this group is very galvanized, as you say.
Yeah, I talked about that in our post-game press conference, Jeremy. This is about the 2013 Bison football team, and these guys deserve an opportunity to do the very best they can. Coaches come and go, but the Bison football is going to stay around. I can tell you that when they replace me, the next guy in, Chris, will be a lot better than I am.
And the players love Kleiman, don't they? The defensive guys are really connected to him.
They do. And, you know, all our players, that's what's great about our coaching staff. All our players love all our coaches, and a very unified group.
Now, talk about the team right now. What a performance this weekend over Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina came in, the Big South champion. They won the automatic qualifier. They had just won at Montana, so that had to perk your ears up a little bit.
Well, it certainly did. And, you know, they've got, you know, a really explosive offense, which was going to be a challenge. And I know the best defense is to have our offense out there on the field. I thought Brent Vegan did a phenomenal job dialing up a lot of different creative plays. The offense stayed out there on the field while our defense was resting. I thought our players had a real grasp of the game plan and appreciated their attention to detail, and we played with a great deal of energy.
Hey, the fans were pretty good, too. I saw lots of thanks Coach Bohl signs out there, and you saluted the fans several times. It was a great atmosphere. You
know what? We've got a great playoff atmosphere, and NDSU football is really special. It's emerged on the national map, and it was great to have some national coverage as well.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights, the first half highlights from this ball game. It was a great atmosphere, and Coastal Carolina was shell-shocked early on in this game. They won the toss. Well, the Bison won the toss, but they got the ball first, and it was a quick 3 and out.
You know, this was really important to come up with a fast tempo here and get them a little bit rattled. And then what was so encouraging was we were able to flip the field here and move down the field and come up with some points here. You can see Brock takes a sack here, which was disappointing, but he's taking care of the football. But then we do a great job here converting on a 3rd down and long. That's a great throw and catch, Brock, to Ryan Smith.
Yeah, it was a 3rd and 11, 28 yards for Ryan Smith right there. And then Brock, almost like the Georgia Southern game, he almost busted a run here.
You know, some great calls by Coach Vegan here and a good job of blocking up front. Brock does a super job. We came up just probably about an inch short on a slant route to Zach, but Adam Keller split the uprights, and we're ahead 3-0.
The defense was great, but on this play, Cole Jurek got injured behind the play.
You know, it was a late hit. You can't see it. They were flagged on it and had really no impact other than Cole missed a couple plays.
Now, Sam O'Jury, a big touchdown run there. You see Cole Jurek. He did come back later in the game, but this was a big run, much like the semifinal last year.
Well, you can see we've got that A-gap power dialed up and a really good job of blocking, and Sam split it and made it all the way in the end zone.
A swarming defensive effort by the Bison in the first half. Here's another sack.
You know, really good coverage, and then a great blitz there, and came up with a big sack.
So it's already 10-0. The Bison get the ball back. You put another drive together here. Here's another pass to Ryan Smith.
Yeah, you know, it's a wheel route out of the backfield, and did a nice job. And here comes another really interesting play dialed up to Sam O'Jury.
Now, Brock Jensen, at the end of this drive, basically just walks in.
You know what? We had this one dialed up as well, and good job on the naked bootleg.
Now, back to the defense. Great defense, but Colton Hegel gets injured on this next play here. It's a separated shoulder.
You know, Colton plays really hard and fast and came up, made an aggressive play, but his shoulder popped out, and you know, he played a little bit. Hopefully we'll have him back this next week, Jeremy.
Now, Coastal Carolina was just having a tough time even getting first downs.
You know, a really good job. Here we come up with a great blitz, and Travis Beck ran the quarterback down.
The offense continued to roll. Here's a quick pitch to John Crockett.
You know, this is a play we had a couple years ago, or actually last year, and John does a nice job. I think we're about a yard short, and we come up with a sneak for a touchdown. 24-0 early in the game. You know, we really established momentum, and I think we had him reeling a little bit.
Here's some of that passion, a thunderous hit by Carlton Littlejohn.
Carl Littlejohn's an explosive linebacker and decleated the guy.
Now, Sam O'Jury finishes it off, and again, this score continues to roll up. Did you anticipate it being this easy in the first half?
Well, we thought we could move the ball on them. What we didn't know is, you know, how we do on defense, and our defense played great. I thought our coaches had a great game plan there, and 31-7, and then we came up with a 2-minute drive and a last-second field goal by Adam. That was a long field goal, and it gave us a great deal of momentum going into halftime.
So they did score, but yeah, you're right. It did kill their momentum with that little drive and a field goal, 34-7. Brock Jensen, 8 of 13. O'Jury, 117 yards. Littlejohn has 7 tackles, and look at the total yards. The Bison well on pace for nearly 700 yards of offense in that first half. On the hot seat this week is the leader, Brock Jensen, at quarterback. Is your room neat or a disaster?
Definitely a disaster.
Did you need training wheels when you learned how to ride a bike?
I did.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Which do you like less, doctor or dentist?
I'd say dentist. I hate getting the picks and the teeth of that. Oh.
Yeah, I'm with you. Oh. When you dress casual, what kind of shoes do you wear?
Probably Sperry's.
Hero as a child?
Brett Favre.
Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Favorite professional sports team?
I gotta go with the Green Bay Packers.
Least favorite sport to watch?
I'd say tennis.
Would you rather have it 100 degrees or 10 below?
10 below, no doubt.
What do you like most about Coach Bohl?
He's a great leader, really great leader.
How do you want Bison fans to remember you?
I think just as a winner.
So where do we send the payment? Is it Boston or Buffalo? Or is it Chicago?
Chicago? Chicago was 2 months ago. Keep looking, there must be a phone number somewhere.
At Gate City Bank, we service your home loan right here. No tracking down where your loan is. That's our promise. And one more way we make your life better at Gate City. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life.
So it went from here to here to there.
Winter fashion is a wonderland, and you'll find all the season's best looks waiting for you at Shields. So let it snow.
We're big enough to provide depth and expertise, but we can make decisions on the spot, where we have an individual that is in the office every week making these decisions, not someone in a corner office in a high-rise in Chicago. And I think that just provides such an advantage to our clients, because we're big enough to handle any account. There's not an account that we cannot handle, but we also recognize a person when he walks through the front door as a guy who's had his homeowner's policy here for 30 years.
Exceeding expectations. Getting better every day. It doesn't happen by chance. Preparation pays off. So the only question to ask yourself is, am I better today than I was yesterday? Exceed yesterday. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Well, Coach, did you anticipate the second half would go like the first half? I mean, 34-7, you double that, that's 68-14.
Well, that's a little bit unrealistic. Yeah. You know, we knew at that time if we played smart football that we were going to get the win. And as you get into playoffs, the most important thing to do is win the game. We dialed some things back, both offensively and defensively in the kicking game. But I thought our guys really went out and continued to play hard.
Well, let's take a look at the second half here, and it was a great start by the Bison. They got the ball to start the second half because of the winning the toss, a fly sweep to Ryan Smith. Really a good job of Ryan, and a good job of the guys up front and getting the first down. Now, Ben Lecomte, you did have to punt here, but Ben Lecomte just been great all year. Oh, he's an outstanding punter, and you can see the field position right here. I mean, they're starting the ball on the 10-yard line. The chances of scoring are not very good. You know, they did get some big plays, though, and here they go. It's 34-14, so still at this time, they're still not completely out of the ball game. No, you know what? We were concerned about their scoring ability, so we kept the pedal to the metal there and made sure that we were going to keep on going. Here, Brock comes down. He had a run and actually went down for a play, but he returned, and here you can see him throwing a really nice ball to Zach Brawl right in the corner of the end zone where it needed to be. Yeah, he threw it right where it needed to be. That was a great route, too. And now Christian Dudzik, talk about him. He had a couple picks here in the second half. Well, you know what? Christian's is such a competitor and really a talented player, and you can see this is a great interception. I know we had reviewable plays, and that one stood. A great break and nice job of coming up with the interception. And here I believe this is Derek Lang coming in, and everybody's favorite. He's a hard-nosed running back, and it was great to see Derek get in the ball game and get some real positive yards and make a difference. Yeah, him and Chase Morlock both came in and gained some big yards. Now, you finished this drive off with the touchdown to Kevin Vodlin. You know, nice job here. This you know, a good play call down at the goal line there. They can't defend both of them, and come up 48 points is pretty impressive. Here's Dudzik again, just the right spot at the right time. And a really nice break. We were in a zone coverage there, and Christian did a good job of reading the quarterback's eyes and came up with a pick. Just a dominant performance by the Bison, 48-14. That's a quarterfinal playoff game, and to dominate like that just does not happen a lot in the playoffs. Brock Jensen, 14 of 21. Ojuri, 162 yards. You see the rushing yards, 424 to 96. That tells the story right there. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
I think that they were talking all week, and the coaches were showing us that they were saying that we'd never seen an offense like theirs before. And you know what? They made some plays in the second half, but we knew that we wanted to come out and shut them down early.
It's great to hear as a wide receiver that they get an extra hat in the box and they play man on the edges, because obviously that's going to leave some mismatches on the outside, and because if they bring an extra guy down, that's one-on-one matchups for us receivers and the quarterback. So, you know, we just, when it happens and man coverage comes and the blitz comes, we just got to know that we got to beat our guy at the line of scrimmage and just make a big play.
We got a focused group of guys that are trying to accomplish greatness, and there would have to, you know, the world would have to come to an end to distract this team. So we're just fortunate to play another 60 minutes, and we're excited.
That was a good comment by Brock right there. Well, Sam Ojuri was the choice for the Nodak Mutual Insurance Player of the Game. Ojuri went 20 carries for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's 8.1 yards a carry. Sam was quick to credit others after the game.
You know, I just like to give all the credit to my O-linemen and my tight ends and fullbacks. They did a great job up front, just giving us lanes to run through, and you know, they just kept, you know, I kept getting more opportunities, and it was important that I took advantage of them.
Coach, the players are enjoying this run, enjoying the playoffs. You have to be getting a real kick out of this. This is fun right now, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. When you see a whole group of players and coaches at the beginning of the year set out with a task and set a goal sheet, and we're clicking them off one at a time. We're going to be in the semifinals playing national TV, and that's a great place to play in the Fargo Dome.
Let's talk about the injuries. You know, it appears everyone came back. So Jurek came back in the game, but he did end up having to get shut down. Do you think he'll be okay?
Yeah, we do. We think he'll be okay. I think the biggest guy we're concerned about right now is Colton Hegel, how he'll respond, and we'll know as the week goes along. The thing is we're on a shorter week. We're going to be playing on Friday instead of Saturday.
Good point. And Brock Jensen appears to be okay. Will he have any concussion symptoms, or is there any lingering effects?
No, he would not have been allowed to go back in the game if there would have been any lingering effects, and so I think he's going to be fine.
Now, Grant Olson, everyone's talking about this. Is there any chance that he might suit up?
Well, you know, we're going to have him take some reps in practice this week, which surprises me that he was able to do that. But Grant's a very determined player. He's moving around fairly well. Now, he'll need to be moving around at optimal speed to have a chance to contribute. But the positive thing is he's going to be out there in a football uniform.
Yeah, that is a great story. Now, Billy Turner, he was just destroying people out there this weekend. He's a phenomenal football player. He was picked for the Senior Bowl, and you know a lot about what that means. Explain it to us.
Well, first of all, there's several postseason games, but that one is sanctioned and run by the NFL. And every player that's chosen is chosen by those guys from the NFL. And every GM, every head coach, every position coach is a week-long evaluation. And so for Billy to go down and play well and perform well, it's really going to have an impact on what kind of opportunities he has as far as the NFL draft.
You know, we see some of his plays here. How has he gotten better his senior year? He just appears to be having a great senior year.
Well, he certainly has, and that's a whole key to having a super year is when your good players, and particularly your senior players, play their best football. There is no senioritis with our players, and particularly with Billy. He's very athletic. He's gotten stronger. He's improved his agility. Those blocks right there for a big guy that's about 318 pounds, that's hard to do, and he keeps on knocking guys down.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina is going to remember number 77. I promise you that. He had some big hits on those blocks this past weekend. Well, one of the greatest achievements of the Coach Bohl era is John Crockett, the fact that he is on the field. We're going to have that story and talk about it in just a minute. Stay with us.
Around here, there's more than one way to live. And at Gate City Bank, there's more than one way to bank. We create banking to fit you. So whatever your way of life, we make it better. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life.
The great thing about snowboarding is the adventure. All day long, you're finding different ways of doing different things, and it's never the same. I don't mind snowboarding alone, but if you've got your friends up there on the mountain and you guys can all cruise down together, it's a really, really fun time. Snowboarding has been really fun and really rewarding for me, and I want it to be fun and rewarding for my customers as well. I'm Lindsay McKinstry, and I'm one of the snowboard experts at Shields.
Exceeding expectations. Getting better every day. It doesn't happen by chance. Preparation pays off. So the only question to ask yourself is, am I better today than I was yesterday? Exceed yesterday. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
So where do we send the payment? Is it Boston or Buffalo? Or is it Chicago?
Chicago? Chicago was 2 months ago. Keep looking, there must be a phone number somewhere.
At Gate City Bank, we service your home loan right here. No tracking down where your loan is. That's our promise. And one more way we make your life better at Gate City. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life.
So it went from here to here to there.
Craig Bohl has a lot of crowning achievements as coach of the Bison, but maybe the most underrated is John Crockett. Craig and his staff took the time and were patient with John as he fought through adversity to get on the field, and it all paid off. Jamal Spencer has the story.
For Bison junior running back John Crockett, the road to success at North Dakota State has been filled with many obstacles. After being diagnosed with ADHD and sitting out his first 2 seasons, Crockett was finally able to clear some academic hurdles and return to the field last year. where he rushed for 1,038 yards, launching him into 2013 with a new hunger.
Yeah, it's always good to get, your feet wet a little bit, then to come back, and then now you can be able to walk on solid ground a little bit. And I feel like that's the main goal right now.
The junior from Totino Grace High School is 4 yards shy of another 1,000-yard season and says he owes so much of his success to Craig Bohl.
Just being able to take a chance on me 2 years, having to sit out, and he still believed in me, and being able to see the, the potential of a man that I could be. It's just something I can never repay a guy like that. So this is really, I can't say, words can't explain how much he means to me.
Crockett is a ball of energy on the sideline during games and in practice, living up to the nickname he was given as a youth.
Oh, this is my little Tasmanian, my alter ego, He comes and supports me every now and then he's not there sometimes. But yeah, this is it right here.
But ultimately, it's his failures that continue to drive him. The fear of returning to the sidelines a spectator after beginning to live his dream.
Because it's only one game season. If you don't win, you're going home, then you're going to be watching. So you have to understand that, and I've watched for 2 years. I'm not ready to do that yet.
For the Craig Bohl Football Show, I'm Jamal Spencer.
Coach, this story has been told a lot, the John Crockett story, but what's the story mean to you? Because you put the time in, your staff did, and other schools didn't, and he could have played anywhere talent-wise, right?
We certainly could have, and we've got a very capable staff, and a lot of people worked hard, but John had a lot of will-come attitude as well, and is very determined. He's had a lot of adversity in his life, and he's dealt with it well. He's making progress, and he's one of the reasons why it keeps you young when you stay in this profession.
Now, he's been a great player, too. Talk about how he's developed as a running back.
Well, it's really helped us. We've got a 1-2 punch. And beyond being a competent running back in college football, there's so many more things than just running with the football. There's a lot of reads, there's pass protections and things like that. And I think when John first got here, he thought, hey, all I got to do is run. Well, he's developed his skills.
Well, in this week's Peterson Farm Seed Future Crop of Bison, another young, promising linebacker. Alex Hahn had to skip fall camp due to an illness, but he joined the team at the start of the season and has caught Coach Kleiman's attention. Alex is from Wisconsin and is getting the most out of his scout team work.
It stinks being a redshirt. You got to practice and you don't get to play, but, it's going to pay off in the long run. You get to practice your footwork when other people, or when the starters don't get to, and you get, we get like the best look because we have one of the best offenses in the country, so we get the best look every practice.
I was just chatting with Chris Kleiman off the cuff before a game out on the field here about 3 weeks ago, and I said, who's standing out on the scout team? And he mentioned Alex Hahn right away. Does he have some potential to be an impact player?
Well, Alex out of high school was really a talented player. He's from the Milwaukee area. He encountered some illnesses, and he lost an awful lot of weight. And so, he came in redshirted. He's beginning to put that weight on in the right way. He's working hard and doing well in school.
All right, a big ball game this week. It's New Hampshire at the Fargo Dome. It's the national semifinals, national exposure. It's all going to be on the line this week, and we'll preview it. Stay with us.
Exceeding expectations. Getting better every day. It doesn't happen by chance. Preparation pays off. So the only question to ask yourself is, am I better today than I was yesterday? Exceed yesterday. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Around here, there's more than one way to live. And at Gate City Bank, there's more than one way to bank. We create banking to fit you. So whatever your way of life, we make it better. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life.
Winter fashion is a wonderland, and you'll find all the season's best looks waiting for you at Shields. So let it snow.
My grandfather started our business in 1917, almost 95 years ago. Over the years, a lot has changed in our business, but there's a lot that hasn't changed. I think about the values and the principles that we adhere to. I think about the way we do business with our clients, the way we treat our clients, the way we treat our employees. Those things haven't changed, and they will never change for us.
It's time for another game-changing play in history. Presented by Pioneer brand T-Series soybeans. Be a game changer.
Power formation, 3 tight ends, I backs. Algieri is the tailback. And Jensen running off the left side is across the goal line. Touchdown! Brock Jensen sneaks it in. And the Bison, with 28 seconds remain, have taken the lead at K-State. My, oh my!
Be a game changer. Plant Pioneer brand T-Series soybeans. From DuPont Pioneer.
Coach, I can't see that play enough. Can you?
It was a great night for NDSU football. I think we set a new bar around the country, but that's where we need to be playing. I think we're capable of playing the big schools, and the win at Kansas State, I think, just had a lot of people around the country recognize that these guys belong at this level.
Now, New Hampshire has the longest streak of playoff appearances in the nation at 10 straight. They've never been to the semifinals, though. They're coming to Fargo this week, and New Hampshire is a program that has had success, not deep in the playoffs, but this is a program that has had success, and they're a good team.
Oh, they're a great program, and seasoned veteran coaching staff. They have systems in place on offense and defense in the kicking game, and they know what they're doing. Chip Kelly had been the offensive coordinator at one time, and so you know how creative they are. You know, even New Hampshire, I think they're in the Northeast, so they collect a lot of really good players. We're glad that they're coming to Fargo, and really want to encourage our fans, get out, buy those tickets, and make a lot of noise come this weekend.
You know, their quarterback has a lot of similarities with Brock Jensen. He just flat out makes plays. He doesn't have the video game numbers of a Garoppolo or Vernon Adams, but boy, he wins.
Comes down to winning.
Yeah.
And this guy's a winner at the crunch time against Southeast Louisiana. They got it done, and we'll need to play well to keep on moving forward.
Yeah, it's an ESPN2 national game, of course, on the Bison Radio Network as well. Full coverage for you. It's going to be a great night. Remember last year against Georgia Southern on Friday night? That was a special night. It's going to be a special night again Friday night at the Fargo Dome. And Coach, New Hampshire beat Southeast Louisiana, so they went on the road. They know how to win on the road. They're from the CAA, a very powerful conference, so they're not going to be intimidated.
No, not by any means. And they played at a lot of big venues. I know that they beat Northwestern a couple years ago. There is a challenge, though, when you go on the road.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we worked hard for that #1 seed. Doesn't guarantee wins, but that 12th man in the stands certainly makes a difference.
Yes, enjoy it, Bison Nation. It's going to be a fun week. It's the national semifinals, the Bison and New Hampshire. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.